Join Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb this Monday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. Central for MinnMax's Trivia Tower. It's good. If you support MinnMax on Patreon at even the $2 tier, you can jump in and compete in game trivia. We have codes to give away for Death of a Wish, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and a ton more. And in this episode, if you get one question correct, you win a game code. So you can help support independent games media and give yourself an exciting Monday evening, everybody's dream. April 22nd here, patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. The competition takes place in MinnMax's Discord. Let us know if you have any questions about how it all works. It'll be a fun time. See you there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spiciest interview from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends, getting better. My name is Ben Hanson. I'm joined by Giant Bomb's creative director, Dan Ryckert.
I like... Ryckert?
It's not Ryckert?
People say that. Wait, are you shooting with me?
Do you think I don't know how to pronounce your last name?
I hear Ryckert a lot,
happening?
so I don't know. It's always spelled without the C. Yeah. I realized the second you started doing the intro that we don't have any glasses for this milk. What's the plan there?
Psych. Just finish your water and then pour the milk into that water bottle and you can drink that. Here's the thing, Dan. This is New Show Plus, baby. Each and every week, we let supporters at the $10 tier on Patreon, the Backstage Pass supporters, vote to choose which new show we create or continue. We give them great options every week. Every week, we're pitching 4 shows. What do you guys want? What do you guys want? And now this is the 5th week in a row where this is, just do the Hot Ones thing.
Look, it's a good gimmick. It seems simple to do and just totally just rip off. Yeah, absolutely.
We already got shooting gimmick. Can we lose
That's
all
just
that
for
stuff?
you. You made the mistake of telling me you don't like it.
It's just annoying and bad. Crowboy says 5 is a new record. I think House Hunter Rise got to 5 consecutively. I said Sarah the Horse Girl, I think, got to 5 as well.
The hell is that?
It was an amazing show.
Is that a game?
No, it was just it was Sarah Prozorski playing different Horse Girl games. But I feel like by the
Crystal's Ponytail?
That's the one you think of. You go on Steam, there's a shocking amount of like Horse Girl games. It's one of the things where like Sarah came. This is like right when she started at MinnMax, I think. And she's like, "Oh, we should do a New Show Plus show where it's just Horse Girl games." So I was like, I don't really know what that is, but sure, I'll put it in the poll. And then the community's like, Horse Girl, like the Horse Girl community came out in force. It's like, this is a concept that I've not been paying attention to my entire life, apparently, but Horse Girls are real.
Oh.
Dan?
Yes.
So the point is, if you support us on Patreon, you can vote to keep Spiciest interview going forever. Maybe next week, who knows? Dan can choose to interview somebody else. I thought it'd be fun to like, maybe in the future, I think Janet might be doing it next week. She's up for it. But eventually it's like, everybody who's up for doing it has done it. So I think it'd be fun if we could get like Brian and Ross to like interview each other, like Grant and Ronnie to interview each other like in this space. So I'm like, where do you think we should take this show in the future?
Wrestlers?
Yeah, local wrestlers.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, everybody. We have 10 hot sauces. And this is the thing. We're 5 episodes in. We can lose the shtick. I'm not going to be doing a Sean Evans impersonation this entire time anymore.
Were you? Because I watched the whole Leo one last night just to kind of get a vibe of it. And
I guess I was trying to. Leo looks like Sean Evans. He does a great impersonation. But at a certain point, it's like, we need to branch out. This is our own show now. It's completely different from Hot Ones. We just use the Hot Ones sauce as an exact format.
Even though it is a different show technically, I do still kind of feel like we're following like the best guest ever on Hot Ones with the Conan one. And so it's like, I immediately feel like, oh God, the bar was set so high. And even though this is just a couple guys in a basement, it's you can't follow Conan.
Everyone was hyping up that Conan episode. It got so damn good to the point I was like,
yes.
Is this a gimmick? Like him rubbing it on his lips. I'm like, is this like a watered down version? Like it is not
think he
natural.
went for it.
But the part that I don't know if you have this feeling too when you watch funny people do funny things, but I was so nervous because early on when they set that bit of his doctor coming out and him being a bad doctor, I was like, don't go too hard on that. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Dial it back. Like I literally am watching it, just going, dial it down, and it stayed pitch perfect throughout the entire thing.
The joke kept changing. It wasn't just that he was a bad doctor. It was like he didn't know how the stethoscope worked.
Yeah, just like put it on a tongue, but he never got obnoxious, never got hammy.
No.
It was always the right level, and then just like Conan going like, just that little bit of a look.
Yeah.
Like when he just came out for the first time, he was like, "Where'd you go to medical school?" 1998. Yeah, he just like walks
out
away.
of state. Yeah. Well, I love when he came out. I instantly recognized him as some like sketch actor from like a 1999 late night.
Yeah.
Like, he was always on there with like Brian McCann and Brian Stack.
Yep,
and all
I was
those
reading the
guys,
comments. I guess he's been a writer with Conan for a super long time.
Yeah,
So,
it's
okay,
like-
that makes sense.
I
Like,
love
that's
that he
the right
keeps his
tone.
guys. Like when he went to the Tonight Show and everything, he moved them all out to LA and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
It's fantastic. So.
Check out Hot Ones, everybody. Highly recommend.
I'm going to be terrible at this. I'm going to let you know, like, just because, like, not just because I
Yeah.
am not necessarily great with hot stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm also bad at eating.
Right.
I struggle with
you don't have to
swallowing
finish the wing.
sometimes.
I know.
So it's going to be little
relax.
nibbles. I'm going to be a big baby about it. I'm going to choke and have a panic attack, and it's just going to be a bad time for everyone. We don't have glasses. You give me 2 napkins for the messiest food on the planet. Okay, one that you've used, it looks like.
1998.
Okay, so I'm gonna be terrible here. I'm bad at eating. I'm bad at eating in person, much less with cameras and an interview situation going on. So just set expectations accordingly.
We get
folks.
that you're a big baby. How are you with spicy foods? Let's get the first wing out here, man.
Okay,
Because
okay.
it's going to take a while for us to soak these suckers.
Are these spicy wings?
No,
Okay.
no flavor on the wings.
Okay, no flavor. You can do that?
I was confused too.
Do you have to say no flavor?
Yeah,
Okay.
several times. So this is buffalo hot sauce from Hot Ones here.
Okay,
So
so these
can't
are all
go
the
wrong.
hot ones. Okay,
Yep,
great.
yep.
Okay,
Season
I'm gonna
21
make
if
my
you follow
phone so greasy. All right.
Yeah, don't touch your phone.
So wait, do you go on the wing, or I've never had to apply my own sauce here.
Yeah, go on the wing, and then you can
on
mop
the
it up
wing?
if you're feeling cool, I think.
I've never felt cool.
Yeah. We're getting the party started here, baby, so I guess we
Okay.
should actually
Do I
play
bite
some-
this?
Hang on. Let's not get nuts.
I complimented your playlist today while I was listening to the Leo one, and it turns out you didn't make the playlist.
I didn't make that playlist
No,
at all. I was kind of confused, because you're like, the playlist with Leo's interview was so good. And I was like, wait, the one for like his Games Are Dumb for Kids channel that I put in the description? What are you talking about, man?
No, I was hearing like the Death Mountain, like Goron Village stuff. It's like, oh, but you didn't do any of that. So
I want the record to show stunningly small amount for the first hot sauce
look,
for Dan.
I'm gonna ease into it here. It's a long night.
Okay, here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
Cheers.
All right.
There's a lot of meat on these bones. That's a pitch perfect buffalo sauce there.
That is incredible, actually.
I gotta say, great buffalo sauce. Slightly spicier than I was expecting.
But like in a very pleasing way.
Oh no, it's great. It's
is it stupid to go in and get on this? Because I'm just hungry
No.
now.
That is
Okay.
really good. Yeah. I thought the first wing would be like 0 spice. But there's a little kick here.
I've already spilled it on my pants.
Cancel the stream. So we have questions for each other. It's kind of a two-way thing. You good? What are you doing?
It's a very stupid thought. I dropped it on the floor,
No.
and in my head, I thought like, oh, he doesn't have a dog. It's fine because like if you drop food on the ground with a dog, you got to think about if it's safe for dogs. And I was like, oh wait, no, he has a baby, and I just, your baby isn't crawling around on the floor eating food in the basement. I don't think.
I mean, you got 2 of the 3.
Oh my god!
Simulated one. What? Dan.
Yeah.
Number 1 question for you. It's the number 1 question I get every time I mention that I know you, which is everywhere, all the time, where I brag about it. I have a bumper sticker that says I know Dan Ryckert.
Ooh.
And people say, yeah, come on though. Is Dan for real? Is that really Dan? Do you,
What do you say?
I say, yeah, slightly ratchet it up. And he plays dumb for some things when if he was on Jeopardy, he would know the answer if there was money on the line.
Oh,
Other
yeah.
than that, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I think feigning ignorance can actually be a really useful life skill. I think it can. It's. I found it even like going back to like working at a movie theater and stuff like that. Like, somebody will be mad at you about something, and if you're just like, oh, I didn't know, then it's hard to stay mad at someone, So you just. I think I just probably got into that mode at a certain point, and I am stupid with a lot of things.
Yeah. Look,
Like,
I'm
I
really
am.
stupid too. And I try to navigate that without yelling into a podcast mic. Look what I don't know.
Well, I try to do it just with things that are stupid and funny. Like that's, maybe I used to do it more about just general all-purpose things, but now I think I just tap into that when it's like, I realize I had a dumb thought, but then I like lean into it to make it more of a thing than it is. Like I've never lied about, I've never been like, what's this? And like, I know what this is, but like,
Again, if you're on Jeopardy, you'd freaking know.
sometimes.
Okay.
It's not
It's
an across-the-board thing.
But something that everybody always says about you, right, is what an ass. No, but everyone's always like, oh man, so many crazy things happen to Dan. He just lucks his way through life, and all these things get lined up. And something I've always kissed your ass about is like, yes, that's true, but you're not seeing Dan reaching out and trying to make things happen, and a lot of things don't happen. But then if you reach out and try to line up stuff throughout your life, and 10% of the stuff happens, it's like, what is this magical gift? This guy's landing stuff. It's like, yeah, he's trying. He's reaching out, trying to make fun things happen. And I'm not accusing everybody else of being a coward, but I am. If you just reached out constantly, be like, hey, actually, could I do this? Is this a thing I can do? Could I land something? Would you come over to my house so I can interview you? Like, amazing things could happen if you just politely ask a little bit.
Yeah, if 1 out of 100 things hits,
yes,
that's great if it's a crazy thing. I almost got Bill Clinton on my college sketch show in a shark suit when I was 18. Like, I was talking to Bill Clinton's office about this when he came to speak at KU, and it didn't happen. And those are the ones you don't hear about, is the, 100 things that, of course they're not going to happen. But
wait, do you have stories of Bill Clinton and George Clinton?
Well, the George Clinton thing, I actually made a thing with George Clinton. Yeah, but Bill Clinton ultimately declined. Yeah. George Clinton was all for it.
Oh, boy. And Bill Clinton's brother, you made a lot of hot content with.
Yes.
There's some troublemakers up back in the 90s.
Roger?
Are you watching, Roger?
Is that sport? What tier is he on?
$100 wallet heroes.
Okay.
Yeah, but reach out, everybody. Try. Don't be an asshole.
When there is no, I always think if the negative possible consequence is nothing, and the positive, even if it's unlikely, is astronomical, you have nothing to lose. Just do it.
Have you talked about an interview that you're trying to get recently that didn't happen?
I feel like I was just doing. Yeah. Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, I don't know if you talked about that.
Yeah, I was. He launched an edible line at a weed place here. And
in Minnesota, which is where the studio is, by the way.
Yeah, and I reached out and I was like, look, I love Jesse Ventura. I've talked about him a ton. I love his movies. I'm a wrestling guy. I know, I got a lot of respect for this dude. I want him to come to my house, bring me weed, and I want to interview him in my basement.
Exclusively about 9/11, this guy said.
Yes. And they offered me the lead guy at the bakery and also Jesse's son, Tyrell. And I just politely was like, I hope you understand, I think the thing that gets people in the door with that one is me talking to this guy I've been fascinated with my whole life. I said, I wish you the best, congrats on the launch, all that stuff. Always polite, but I don't know if Tyrell has the, same.
Now I have a question. How many times in the Ventura household have they made the joke about goddamn sexual Tyrellosaurus?
0.
Not what? When he conceived him even?
Would what?
When he conceived him, he didn't say
no.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't think he said that phrase since the set of Predator.
Yeah, that's true.
Do I ask you? When do I do this? Do we switch wings? I do it now?
No, you got it.
All right.
I assume you give me one.
I give you a wing or I give you a question?
You put a wing in my mouth. Have you not seen the show? You Lady and the Tramp the Wing.
Do we have to re-up the bite or do we just ask a question?
I'll suck on this bone. Just ask me a goddamn question.
What is the most unexpected thing you've learned or experienced as a father?
Ooh. Sleeves are scary.
To you or the baby?
to me. Because a little baby, so much of it, because I put clothes on him every day, and I bring him to daycare, and the daycare provider's always like, oh, this doesn't really match. Daycare provider's my sister, by the way. I'm like, why would fashion for a baby matter in the least?
Do you think there's people that I bet there are people that take that super seriously. I'm not the most fashionable baby.
Oh, man. Parents are weird. We went to this new parent meetup thing. It was a whole shebang. And there was a mom there that was dressed identically to her baby. That's weird. On the way home, I was talking to my wife, that's the weirdest, most disturbing thing I've ever seen. She's like, that is extremely common to match outfits with your baby. That person should be locked up in my mind. It's no, it turns out that's extremely common. But anyways, going back to sleeves, it's that when you're trying, it's just hard because they're all wriggly, but then when you're trying to put an arm through the sleeve, it's always their fingers are caught. I'm if I just keep sliding, I'm going to snap a little baby pinky off. It's a terrible feeling.
Okay, I can kind of relate here because I've got that full-size gremlin.
Yeah.
I've got the Flasher Gremlin from Gremlins 2.
That's exactly that.
Every once in a while, I put little shirts on it and clothes and put them in the background of my streams, and trying to get the gremlin claws through the sleeves is actually difficult. So I kind of can actually relate to that.
It's exactly the same thing. Congratulations,
kind of the same size.
I meant to congratulate you on the gremlin.
It doesn't move, but yeah.
All right, number 2.
Doing it again.
Look at the size of this goddamn wing.
That's too much. That's a cauliflower.
This is...
All right. Wait, we're doing this one?
I got it, hot shot.
Okay.
This is Angry Goat Pepper Company. Blistered shishito and garlic hot sauce.
Okay.
I don't know. Should this be the one that I put on the huge wing? But I guess I should.
I did not consider the part where I think hot sauce makes your heart rate go up, which is just fantastic as someone with anxiety, where my brain is now telling me I'm having a panic attack. So that's a fun time. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Remember we went for that bike ride and we kept having to stop for you to get a Pepsi?
I can do it now. I'm in a better spot now,
but
nice. I'll do another long ride with you soon.
Great. I went for a little ride today.
Do we clink every time?
Yeah, we can. Might as well. Okay. Look at the size of this sauce on this wing. I just want to point in comparison here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Ooh. That's really tasty.
I think I need to buy this whole set. Is this still on sale like these?
I think so. Season 21, I think, is what this is. This is less spicy than the first one and better.
This reminds me of there's the sauce that they put on stuff in Aruba. And it's like, yeah, it's like a this is passion fruit. No, it's it's Aruba. Is it mango or I think it's like a mango-based sauce or something, but delicious. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Dan, something I learned recently, it was just one of those things like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm busy, but did you say you didn't know that you could wash reusable water bottles? We're talking about the Xbox One water bottle. You're like, I kept getting these water bottles and I'll throw them away. I didn't know you could wash them.
Yeah, all of mine, because I have all, like, I come here and your house is a museum of promotional games media water bottles, and I recognize them all as ones I had 10, 12, 14 years ago, but they got disgusting and just, they just became a giant bacteria, like visible amoeba on these things.
Tadpoles swimming around inside there?
Might as well be, and so I eventually had to get rid of them all.
Because you didn't wash them.
Well, because like when you buy a lot of them, they come with like the thing that you got to. I stopped myself from saying gimmick just now. It's got the little tool where you got to put it in there and stuff. And a lot of them say like now I'm getting all these like whiskey mixing glasses and stuff like that. And it says hand wash only. Don't put this in a dishwasher. So I err on the side of caution with things sometimes. Okay. And it's like I don't know if I can put that in a dishwasher or not.
So you just threw away all these old gaming water bottles because
I got the Halo one, the SSX one, the Xbox One ones that I loved and used all the time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's smart. You got a question for me?
Yeah. What's the greatest podcast episode of all time?
Oh, it's a great question. That's a great question. First thought is Vonneguys. There's a Kurt Vonnegut podcast where they go through all of his books.
Do they cover Back to School?
No, they don't.
Okay.
I'm sure they talk about it, but it's some former people that were at Cracked back in the day and stuff, and that I love Kurt Vonnegut, and that podcast is just like, it's so good. It's right level of funny but analytical, and I think it was their episode on Breakfast of Champions, where one of the hosts is like describing the plot, and then he just starts crying. And look,
Jesus,
every time Vinny would cry on Giant Bomb, I loved it. And Vinny's my favorite because when he would cry when talking about like favorite moments of the year at Giant Bomb, my favorite thing that is so hard, the handful of times I've cried on a podcast, I try to keep this in mind and I can't, is Vinny cried and there's no like, oh, I'm sorry. Zero apologies from Vinny. I love that. And I feel like on the Vonneguys podcast, they were talking about the plot of Breakfast of Champions, which has some sad stuff in it, and then like just started crying and just like crying, talking about a piece of art on a podcast. Like,
there's nothing to be. The idea of apologizing for feeling an emotion is not.
I think that's the number one thing. It's like if you're crying, it's like, oh, sorry, I can't believe I'm crying. I was trying to hide it. I heard somebody talk about like what's wrong with actors when they're crying in movies is everybody who's crying in real life tries to hide it, and when an actor's crying in a movie, they're doing nothing but trying to show you, let you know that they're crying.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, Breakfast of Champions episode of Vonneguys. That's certainly the first one that comes to mind. But good question. Are we moving on to next one?
Sure.
Great.
You cry at weird stuff from what I've heard.
Oh, thanks.
Like, well, I mean, I'm sure you cry at like normal stuff too. But
barely.
I think about you crying at sound shapes for the PSP or Vita.
I stand by that. To be fair, it's not like the boot up screen. The level in sound shapes that's all war themed, and it's like to a Beck song. I'm not like a big Beck fan, I don't think. But like playing a beautiful platformer that's like depicting a war torn city in the background to the beat, like it slayed me.
Well, for the record, not mocking you by any means.
You've just been bringing it up for 10 years, but
no. Back then I was mocking you. Now I'm not. No.
Okay.
But then Bonk also told me that she was listening to an episode where he talked about like seeing a trailer for a Stephen Hawking movie, and it was just like he made just like a face, and she showed it to me, and she was like, guess what part?
Now, believe it or not, Dan, I wasn't saying that Stephen Hawking was so expressive he made me cry. It was his partner.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's just a shot in that trailer of, I forget her name. She's Jyn Erso in Rogue One. Felicity Benedict. Something like that. Whoa, what are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't bite it. I got a little bit of sauce on the underside of my tooth, but that's it. Have we breached? I'm sorry.
No, we're going into number 3.
That was 2.5, sorry.
It's all good. Anyways, yeah, there's a shot in that trailer that just exploded my tear duct.
But it's just a lady like turning around, right? Like, not even like a lion or anything.
Yeah, I just don't believe women should turn around.
You always say that.
No, it was the reaction when they tell her Stephen Hawking's diagnosis. And, like, she just has, like, this little reaction that's just, Jesus Christ. This is Piscaya. This is the one you're talking about. Spicy sweet with passion fruit.
Oh, wait. So I thought this garlic one was the fruit one?
No, you were looking at the third one while
No,
eating
I
the
was
second
tasting it, and it reminded me of the Aruba thing, and I thought it was this one. So I was eating a garlic thing, and I thought it was a fruit. Okay. Anyway, this is the fruit one.
Cheers.
Right,
Look at us right here.
Yeah. Okay.
This sounds like Warcraft 2. Oh,
that one's fine. The previous one I liked a lot more.
Yeah, this is, yeah. It's too sweet. I don't know. Whatever. You want to go first this time?
Sure. What's the deal with Jeff Marchiafava?
Oh no, that's awesome. I think we'll just use what you got. You know, he hams it up a lot on camera, but off camera.
Hams it up? Yeah, he's basically Chris Farley coming out on Letterman.
He's the best because like he's the Simpsons bit for like, oh, that little guy in that fight. He hasn't done anything for a long time. When he does, you know, it's gonna be really cool. Remember when they're all fighting?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the big like mob fight up front.
Yeah, where it's like the community latches onto him because he's a little bit quieter, a little more cryptic. But then when he pops and argues passionately for or against a game, it's like riveting.
What's the last one he did that for? The last game opinion I know of his is that he didn't like Hitman 2016, and
he retired from game reviewing.
Yeah.
No, defending Horizon Forbidden West, saying you guys are all morons. This is better than Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Janet was with him, and then he said that, and Janet's like, I gotta back off.
Hey, I saw it coming in 2016, and I backed off Jeff Marchiafava's game opinions.
No, I love it. I think the last one was in going hard against Skull and Bones. He just absolutely hated it.
Did that come out?
Yes.
Like,
it's
not like in a
shelves.
beta thing or anything?
Uh-uh.
Was it just a huge failure?
Probably. Yeah. I think it was like one of those Ubisoft on sale, 40% off the next week. Yeah, so like it's just fun seeing the community like pick up on him. Like this guy's a little bit different. And sometimes people will be like, why isn't he talking that much? But then when he jumps in, it's like it's a fun dynamic to have in the podcast because also like he will just every once in a while be like, oh, I want to do like a board game review show, and he'll just do this, but he'll like create this wacky bit at the top and like film it all himself. Like he just has these swings of creativity. It's like, Jeff, I'm this. Like it's so unexpected, but then when he goes for it, it rules. And it's like he's such a funny writer. And
That's
he's a
the
funny
thing.
guy.
When he did like the answers, like the feedback section of the magazine, he was hilarious. His humor comes through incredibly well in writing.
Yeah, but he's I know I talked to you about it in private, and probably him in private too, but like he's the best sounding board for all MinnMax stuff. No offense to everybody else at MinnMax. But like, you know, early on especially, it was like, what do you think? I think about going this direction, or especially money, numbers, the type of thing, like bouncing stuff off him. He's always been like the unfair, probably backboard of like, Jeff, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about this? And then if it's like a tricky conversation, I'll start with him. And it's just, I feel like he's probably annoyed with me a lot, but I feel like we just have a good, like, look, we're both, I believe, pretty down-to-earth people, and we can have like a frank, logical discussion about stuff. And yeah, like, you know, I've talked about it a little bit before, but like I've had a couple meetings with him. I don't think I'm a huge crybaby, but I've had a couple meetings with him, like talking about business stuff where I've like cried with him and stuff. And it's like, it's been, you know, he's such a good person to check in. Like if you're running a company, you know, just be like, hey, gut check. Like Fava is the perfect person to gut check.
And you need someone that will tell you the bad news if it's the honest.
Right. Yeah.
You need that. Yeah.
All right, Dan, this is a segment, you know it, you love it. It's called Rank What You Rode. I'm going to give you a list of things that you've ridden. You give me the order.
Best to worst or worst to best?
Worst to best. Humvee in downtown Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Remember them?
Was that with Rockstar?
That was your bachelor party.
Oh, in Vegas! I thought I was thinking Los Angeles. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. My four-wheeler at my house out in rural Minnesota.
Right.
Randy Pitchford's Segway in Gearbox's office.
Last place I'll give to Randy Pitchford's Segway.
Oh. Because they had a really expensive computer right next to it. And
that's the thing. It was a fine Segway, and he was nice and showed me how it worked and everything. He really wanted me to ride a Segway.
Yeah, beyond nice. Believe it or not, Randy Pitchford was really passionate and enthusiastic about you riding the Segway.
And then he took us in his robot car. Remember, he was driving me and Ben Reeves around. And it was like, this is like 12 years ago, and we're on the highway. He's like, watch this. And it's a rip. It's like, I don't think cars are supposed to do this. But anyway, his Segway, it's a fine Segway.
Yeah.
It's just, it was in a tiny little lobby next to the world's most expensive PC. And there was like no, I couldn't really get it up to speed or anything there,
Yeah.
And then what? It was your four-wheeler
and a Humvee.
Your four-wheeler?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Fun.
Did I drive it?
Yeah.
I drove it,
I
yeah.
have a picture of it, yeah.
Yeah, I remember being a little scared because I was in charge of it, and I was like, I didn't want to. Look, I've already almost screwed up one vehicle your family owns out there.
You destroyed my family jet ski.
Like the first weekend you used it. And then,
Got the rope wrapped in it.
It's fine. Dave Glad fixed it. Yeah, 4x4 because I was just a little, scared to use it.
Yeah.
And then the Humvee was great because I didn't have to drive it.
Yeah.
It was my bachelor party there with my dad and my best friends. We're out. It was we were sitting in the back of it, and so it was like a hot desert day in July, but we had the wind kind of hitting us and everything. I think we had people in a car behind us yelling at us, and we were going to shoot miniguns. It was just it was a fun day.
Yeah, it was a very American day. Yeah. All right, this is another Hot Ones, Barbacoa. Los Calientes.
I like barbacoa. Okay.
Heat level's a 4 out of 10, so I'm really going to put this sucker on because, yeah, I think that first one, the buffalo, has been the spiciest. It's a weird
I think so too. So far, nothing that I would call hot yet.
Yeah. It sounds good. Oh, Dan. A baby amount for the record, but this
This isn't fine.
Take a smell. Dan.
The whole part I'm going to bite has it.
All right, when we get to the spicy
You're
stuff, I'm
all
not going
show.
to let you
All right.
chicken out. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Oh my! I'm absolutely buying this. Yeah. Are these like parting gifts? Do I get to take these home?
No, we're going to need to use them in the future because this is going to go the distance for New Show Plus.
Can I guess how much it costs?
It's a lot. Yeah, go ahead. For the full suite,
$85.
$120.
Okay.
Barbacoa Los Calientes. That's the best. That's excellent.
These
That's
two
like
are the best so
smoky.
far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that smokiness is really good. God damn. Is it okay to go back in?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's allowed. Okay. Dan, talking about how expensive these are. You like money?
Yeah. I mean, everyone does.
Okay, here we go. This guy's
Jesus
out of
Christ.
control, everybody.
Okay. All right.
Dan,
Yeah.
I've got a box here. Wash your
Okay.
hands.
Wash my hands.
Just
have
rub
a
it.
sink
Just make
here?
sure it's not covered in crap. Because I'm giving this to my nephew after this, so don't break it. Dan, if you can open this within 30 seconds, I will give you the $50 inside of it.
You know what's very funny? I literally last week was in Philadelphia at a Moroccan bazaar at a puzzle box store. And the guy was very nice, and he was excitedly showing me how to open all the puzzle boxes, and I bought one. It's a wooden puzzle box, exactly that size.
Is it the same contraption?
I don't think so, and I got a quick glimpse. I don't think it's the same thing.
Okay,
but
and go. Okay, we'll get a second camera here. He's struggling. You can.
there's always just a thing you can push or something that you wouldn't think you can push.
Nothing better than a puzzle box, eh?
It's really. I mean, I was asking him to show me all of them. I thought they were great.
You sent it to a puzzle box store?
Yeah, it's in the Reading Terminal Market in Philadelphia, and it was very fun.
Yeah. My nephew, he said, hey, can you give me a puzzle that's really hard to open? It's like, yeah, probably. Looked around on Amazon. It's like, oh, this is perfect. This is the best present for an 8-year-old possible. Put your money in there, trick your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm at a loss. This is a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I show you?
Yeah, let's see it.
Turns out this.
Okay.
Yep. Then you slide this back. Then you flip this up. And you slide this forward. And then you remove this. Remove that. The
That's
$50
good.
that could have been yours.
How many times have you done that?
Probably 10.
Okay, just trying to get your speed up. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the people that like disassemble guns and stuff.
There are many like this puzzle box, but this one's mine.
That's right.
All right. My turn.
I took a tiny bite a minute and a half ago. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
That's how bad I am at eating.
No.
Okay, I swallowed.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, am I asking you?
Bad at eating.
Oh, the money
bad
thing
at
was the last one.
interviewing.
Wait, are we in the now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me about a time that you felt really cool.
Oh. Genuinely really cool.
Yeah, you're like, God damn it, I nailed it. I'm cool as hell right now. Oh God, I got something in my eye, but I can't rub it. I got sauce.
Quick, use sauce to get more sauce out of it. Has it ever happened?
Not once. Did you have like
struggling.
a long a goal, like a workout thing, or a weight to hit, or a distance to hit on a bike ride, or?
I did like a 100-mile bike ride And I was like, oh, I'm glad I did that. I don't think I'm cool for sitting on a bike for 6.5 hours.
You feel good. You feel accomplished. You feel, it's like,
that's different. That's different from cool.
I'm not talking about, sunglasses and flipping a nickel, It's like...
This is a reference that only you will get, Dan. Watching Lost World and doing a countdown.
You don't have to say anything else.
It's an old story that'll never be told.
Very cool.
It was undoubtedly counting down from when the boat crashes into San Diego in Lost World was the greatest moment of my life.
I will not elaborate.
All right. Okay, ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Next wing. This is Diablo Filipino sauce.
That better be spicy.
Power jab. It says hot sauce with a punch power jab.
I bet it's fun to market hot sauce, like to name it and get the logo treatment and all that.
Yeah, do you try and go like against type, like the peaceful little flower? Or you just be like,
no, I think you just lean all the way. Yeah, exactly. It's that, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do it. All right, I tell you about the time that I met Anthony Daniels in Las Vegas.
Is he live?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Why? When did you not see him?
I don't think you told me about this.
But it's C-3PO, and I think I told you. Where? I was getting breakfast with Andrew Reiner in Vegas. We're there for PSX, I think. And Anthony Daniels just walked by the outside of the breakfast area, like the restaurant we're at. And I was like, oh my God. I think Reiner, because he's like a big Star Wars fan, he's like, that's Anthony Daniels. He was there promoting like Battlefront 1, I think. And I was like, I gotta go! And just like left my food half eaten and ran out to meet him. And I was trying to get a picture with Anthony Daniels. And he's like, we can't get a picture here. Because it's illegal to take a picture in a casino or whatever. So we had to like find some corner where he was like, okay, because believe it or not, the C-3PO guy was super uptight. But the point is, we're wandering around this Las Vegas casino for so long. It was a lot of time for chit chat. And my pitch to him, because we're talking about casinos, this is my first time in Vegas, and I was saying they should make a slot machine that's not all glitz and glamour. Make it like old decrepit wood so it stands out. That would be my hot sauce strategy as well, is come in with something that doesn't look spicy anyway.
You told Anthony Daniels this idea?
Yeah, and he said, that's a very good idea. That's a very good idea.
His voice is just the C-3PO voice?
It's 100%. He's not much of an actor. I don't know, maybe he's great in other stuff. I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Okay. My sinuses are getting cleared out here.
Yeah. Power jab. I had a lot fly off this and go near my eye.
Okay, this one is spicy. I don't think it necessarily tastes that great. It's not that spicy. It's like maybe a 5 out of 10.
Oh, it's increasing though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's making me concerned for the back half. But
it's kind of vinegary.
Well, no, you can't tell me that because I hate vinegar, and in my head, if I hear vinegar was in it, then I absolutely can't like it. So.
Do people love vinegar?
Yeah. I mean, I probably do, but I just tell myself it's not in things. It's like an aioli mayonnaise thing.
No. I mean, vinegar, I guess it's like big in like orange juice.
Ugh. Vinegar is big in orange juice?
Oh, yeah. Have you looked at the ingredients for orange juice?
I'm not buying that. Okay, that actually, that does build.
Ooh, it's still building, man.
I'm thinking about, it is.
Note to self, don't put it on my lips.
Okay, wow, this is going to get hairy.
Yeah, hey, Dan,
do you want me to drink straight out of this, or do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay.
Around 2016, Dan.
Yeah.
You proudly declared when you went to Giant Bomb, you were forming New Dan.
Yeah.
As I vaguely recall. Can you walk through what defined New Dan, and where are those qualities now in your life?
Like you said 2016.
Holy God, that's really something.
Yeah. I went there in like 2014.
Oh,
I believe.
I was trying to get a time. I don't remember when New Dan came around.
I honestly
New Dan
think
City.
I made that was an initial step that I think was a positive one. Just trying to be more open-minded and stuff. Because I was catching elements of myself that, look, there are a lot of elements of my father in me. And a lot of those are good. A lot of those are very, he's very funny. I think he's a good person. And then there are things where, it's just like, soccer's not a sport. Yeah. Broadway performers aren't actors. And I was doing enough of that on like podcasts.
And you're saying I feel like you're slipping a little bit back.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I remember there were things I would say like, well, electronic music isn't music. And that's straight up just a Paul Ryckert saying. And I remember like Gersman at the time, I think it was on the Bombcast, being like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And like knowing that, like kind of having that self-reflection of like, oh yeah, this is just, I just learned as I've gotten older that just hating things that are not for me is not adding anything to my life. It's not like, look, I don't watch soccer. I don't hate soccer. I'm not going to go rant about soccer. I don't listen to electronic music. I don't hate electronic music. It's, it's so like that was kind of the genesis of like, okay, I want to like some self-improvement here and not just be so stubborn and judgmental of things that are not for me. Yeah.
Okay. And now, do you feel like you're slipping back? Is there room for a new Dan? Or a new Dan reboot?
No, when you say slipping back, I'm curious what you mean. Because like, I do think that what I will credit the most...
It's like, Red Dead Redemption 2 sucks ass.
I mean,
Shut up,
that
Brad.
was what, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah, but that was after New Dan debuted.
Well, here's the thing. After I started saying the New Dan thing, I think the actual thing started. I think it was meeting Bianca and just kind of like...
So there's no need for New Dan when you have Bianca.
I think I just naturally, she was very good at making me think about things that I had not considered before, and like, oh yeah, that is something I could work on, and like the cheapness and stuff like that. Like I remember, like I used to be very, very cheap.
Yeah, but I said I couldn't go to that Civil War Alex Garland movie on cheap movie night, and you still haven't gotten back to me with a new option because you're so hell bent on saving $5.
No, it's either $5 or $17 a ticket.
$17. We can find a theater that's
and
cheaper
we
than
said we would do Tuesday. And you've offered cheap.
Dan, you stream yourself farting into a mic on Twitch for 3 minutes. You're making
those aren't my farts.
You're making more than $17 is my point. Do you want? Are you a?
I'm an American.
Tonight dough man.
Do you have Americone Dream? Oh, between
Mint
those two, I'll
chocolate
take
chip.
tonight. That's the one with the chips in it. I like. Yeah,
Right.
potato chips in this one.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Me now?
Sure.
What's the best YTM&D that you've ever made?
Oh boy. A spoon?
Oh, sick. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very important to me at a certain time, and things on that site have not aged well. Best one ever made is maybe the elaborate Metal Gear Solid one, which was Metal Gear Solid. If Liquid Snake
Was
went
it
on
judge? Or was he a judge on American Idol?
No, he went on American Idol. And then it was Vulcan Raven, Sniper Wolf, and Solid Snake as the judges, judging Liquid Snake. And it came out because when I learned that Cam Clark, the voice actor, whose voice I just love, that he was a singer, he had a bunch of his stupid songs online. I said, well, I gotta do some content with this. That's the only thing that makes sense. So then remixing all of Metal Gear into being an elaborate parody of American Idol, which I don't think I'd ever watched.
I remember you showing that to me when we started talking about Metal Gear.
Oh, and the Psycho Mantis was Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I remember thinking, I didn't think YTM&Ds could be this long. Because they're basically just a GIF with like a looping sound file, and
there was a very derogatory and horrific phrase that people would use for the genre of YTM&D that were just long things.
Oh, was it the? Oh,
It was no good.
I don't think I know that one.
Don't look it up.
Okay.
Oh, I need to crack into this. That kicked my butt, that last one. Dan, can you imagine if you actually ate it? Instead of just putting a Tic Tac size on a wing and then licking it once?
Are you kidding me? I had a giant. Check the tape. Jesus.
Check the tape.
Do you have Kleenex? My nose is going to start running here. I don't want to. I can have a snot paper towel and God, and that one. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
All right, number 6. This is looking like a good one. It's the right color again. Ooh, Marshall's. Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
No way this ain't great. No way this ain't great. This is Marshall's Hot Sauce Hout Whiskey Smoked Ghost.
Is Hout just an alternative? Because you'll see like Hout dish. I don't know if it's just like a play on words or if Hout is like a Canadian spelling of hot or something.
Hout, let it all out.
Oh.
Is it old timey?
No, I think it's a play on words. I want to say because I think there used to be a restaurant downtown called Hout Dish.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking it was pronounced hot dish, and someone corrected me and be like, no, it's a play on words. It's Hout. Hout culture, isn't that a thing? I think it's like a fashion thing.
I don't know what this is. This is runny.
Yeah, it is. All right.
It seems great.
Like my nose. All right.
Ready?
Yes.
Don't let it touch my lips. Shit. It's all over my lips.
That is vinegary, and the first 2 ingredients here are apple cider vinegar and white balsamic vinegar.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's just Tabasco. Dan, how much is too much when it comes to game collecting? When does, can you walk me through the difference between collecting games and becoming a hoarder?
Yeah. My kind of internal rule is the things that I buy and collect, I want all of them to be something that I have some sort of personal history with or some sort of memory with or some sort of history with. So, of course, all my like favorite games ever, those are like a top priority to get. But then there are also like just a bunch of weird like I have remember Stacked, the PS2 online poker game with a guy from the World Series of Poker.
Wait, which guy?
Daniel
Negreanu?
Yeah, and like it's just that's not a game that's worth remembering at all. But I buy that and NFL head coach and these like 2005, 2006 PS2 games because it reminds me of when I first started reviewing games. And every time I went to the newspaper building to pick up my games, it being such a magical thing, like, wow, I'm getting this game. They're giving me this game for free, and I get to review it. And this is what I'm doing. I'm on the right path. So, like, I have very strong memories tied to even non-noteworthy games from that era. But I'm not going for, like, a complete collection of things. Like, I should be able to, any game on my wall that you point to, I should have a story of, like, okay, I played this in my friend's place. I reviewed
Dracula at Game Gear.
I like the movie.
I'd like to start a show that's just called Hoarder Justifications. Because I bet everybody is like, well, yeah, that newspaper was sent to my house in 1987. What do you want me to do?
Sure. I think because I've also like, I haven't bought much at all this year, because I think most of the like go-tos that mean a lot to me, I've gotten. Some of them are just like, Mario World, which is one of my favorite games of all time. But to get a box copy of that is like over $1,000. So it's like, I can't justify that right now. Yeah.
Which game has better art, Mario 3 or Mario World?
Who did I see? Was it Geller?
It's Geller and I, yeah.
I remember thinking you were both insane because you both disliked one of them, and I think they're both perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one doesn't look. I mean, one is just doesn't have much.
Yeah, but which is better art, 3 or World?
Just in game, or are we talking everything? The instruction manual, the box art.
That's a great question. But I think box art for 3 is top 5 box arts of all time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, I guess just the game.
In game, World.
That's wrong. You got a question for me?
Yeah. Okay. You used to avoid being seen or heard on content.
Yeah.
And now you are one of the best interviewers and on-screen talents in the industry.
As you can tell from these hot questions.
Yeah. Do you remember, was there a specific video or a podcast moment when you realized, hey, I might be good at this?
Good at it. Therefore cool.
I think there's a recurring thing here. You never think you're good or cool.
No. I remember the opposite. I remember hosting the Yoshi's Island Super Replay. I think the first episode, Brian Vore came in. And like, I was friends with Vore, but it wasn't like we were like best buds at that phase or anything. I just remember every minute of that Super Replay was me thinking, how the hell am I going to fill 55 more minutes of this? 53 more minutes, 51 more. I was just so nervous about like, I can't keep this rolling. I'm sure if we were back and listening to it, it'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
But that's what my internal monologue was. Because I'm like, wow, maybe I can do it. Let's see, Twilight Highlight Zone was the first podcast I hosted.
Was Cork?
Yeah. Or we did every episode of Twilight Zone. Maybe there's an episode towards the end of that. Like, we had a really fun, at the end of every season for the original Twilight Zone, we did an episode called The Franklins, where we gave out awards. And, like, did a whole production for it. And sound effects, and it was really funny. And it was just fun because it was like award shows for that specific season of Twilight Zone, which is like just stupid things would keep recurring. Because Twilight Zone, it's the best show ever, right? But it's like, it can get in grooves and be redundant, and like, 40% of those episodes are like Wild West episodes. Or like, I've got a magical tonic. It's like, oh Christ, more magical tonics. But everyone just remembers like, oh, Twilight Zone, the cool sci-fi show. It's like, no. So I remember, we'd have categories for like best person thrown through a plate glass window. And
there's that many?
Oh, like there's one season where there's multiple people like jumping through glass or getting thrown through glass.
Just Norm Dirty Work style.
Yeah. I haven't seen that film. But
you haven't?
No. I've never seen all of Dirty Work.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so maybe producing one of those like when I was editing it, be like, oh, this is fun to listen to. Like, but just because Cork's funny and it's funny to like overproduce this Twilight Zone episode.
Cork's one of those guys that kind of makes your job easy when you're on a video or trying to be funny with him.
For sure. Yeah, but it's such a thrill. Like, it was a while ago. I think I was sick, and Sarah and Anna came over to do Cream at the Steam in the studio and play random Steam games and stuff. And I was sick, so I'm like, all right, you guys just do it without me. And I was talking, I think, to Leo afterwards, and I was like, I was just sitting in like the producing chair over there, just like pulling up, reading chat and doing all that stuff, writing audio levels, whatever. And I was like, God, it felt so good. It's like, that's my home. It's like just sitting back and producing, and especially with like Sarah and Anna, who just like get in a groove and just like they are just completely in each other's lanes. Like I would have been awkwardly trying to force conversations and just stumbling through that, and like just getting that back to that role. Like, oh, that is my home. Is like sitting back, and if things are rolling, just like, and I can just be the quote unquote producer, because that's like what I did for years and years and years at Game Informer. So it was just really comforting.
Do you think later in your career you could see yourself
I'd like to.
fully stepping back into that role?
I don't know about fully, but more than I do now. It's nice just to like find those spots of like, oh, Leo Vader hosts the deepest dive in Like a Dragon Ishin, or Jacob Geller hosts the deepest dive in Armored Core 6. And it's like, all right, those are both way better than I could have done. Haley with Bonus Pod, it's like, that's way better than the show I was doing on Mondays. And so it's just nice to be like, all right, it's a relief, I think, to be like, okay, I'm happy being the producer, managing all this stuff, and scheduling and doing all that boring nonsense. Hey, more wings?
Sure. These are starting to get, like, my tongue is tingling quite a bit. My lips are tingling quite a bit. My nose is actively runny. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Is this a wing?
It's just a chunk.
Is it a meatball? All right, this next one's going to be the meatball one.
Is there a bone in there, though?
Oh, there's a bone, all right. This is Ginger Goat Tropic Star.
Okay, that's going to be a funky one.
Yeah. Extra goat. Ooh. Mango lemongrass. Leo was reading all this stuff last week, but maybe I just was not being a good interviewer by not listening.
It's going to be a wacky one.
Yeah. Mango and lemongrass. Huh. Lemon's a fruit and a grass? It's just grass that somebody ate and they said, this tastes like that fruit I know?
I don't know anything about lemongrass. I don't know if it's tied to actual lemons or if somebody was just being cheeky.
Are you ever surprised when phrases are used in other cultures? Like, oh, goddamn, they made it over there? Like, I was watching an interview with Final Fantasy XVI's producer recently, and he talked about making lemonade out of lemons. It's like,
yeah.
All right. It's cool when those phrases are like, all right, that's around the world, that went through the language barrier and passed through. I wonder if there's any Japanese phrases that we just say now, but it's translated, and then if Japanese people do like, oh, you're saying that? That's crazy.
Not any kind of Latin origin to that, so I wonder if that does happen at all. Or I guess just translated. But
you can translate things that aren't from...
Right, yeah, okay. Is the phrase making chicken salad out of chicken shit, is that in civilian life, or is that just wrestling?
Nah, that's not a thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. What about, you seen the Holdovers, the Paul Giamatti movie?
No.
It's good.
Yeah?
And he has a line there where he says, life is like a henhouse ladder, short and shitty.
Yeah.
And I guess like the screenwriter's uncle would always tell him that. It's like, that's one of those good kind of old phrases. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Whew.
Yeah.
Ginger goat. Oh, weird.
It's very weird. It's not bad.
Yeah. It's not hot yet.
It's earthy.
Is there any heat yet?
I think I still have residual heat from the previous ones.
Ooh. Oh, I can feel it in there now. Damn.
Yeah.
Rank the people you know best on planet Earth. Who do you know the absolute best? Second, third?
As a human, like everyone, family, friends, coworkers?
Yeah. People.
Bonk.
The character?
Yeah, it's a big TurboGrafx guy.
That's his wife.
It's actually close. I know Bonk the most, but she is like most people, a complex individual. And my father is I'm not sure. He's not a simple man, but he is tremendously predictable. I can tell you exactly what he's going to think about something, his opinion on something. I knew the second I gave him a Balatro code, he's never going to play it. No. I knew when he was asking me to set him up a Twitch account last time, he's never going to use it. I think I know him better than he knows himself.
Do you know your dad better than Bonk then? It's always a good question. It's such an interesting riddle, right? Like, do you know somebody that you've dated for years better than their family knows them?
It's hard to say because
it's hard, right?
Yeah, and again, because she's a complex and evolving person, and like most of us are, and I feel like my dad has been something you can study and predict for at least the last 10 years, ever since he retired.
Right. Classical physics versus quantum physics.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yes.
Yeah, that's still climbing. That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, Bonk, and then right behind that, my dad.
What about yourself?
Working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably maybe top 5.
Okay.
God, are you might be top 5.
Top 5. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, all right. So, more than your sisters and your mom? Come on. What are you doing?
Have you met Kayla?
She's in chat.
I know she is. This is a compliment. She is a remarkable, unpredictable, bewildering, fascinating human being. It's always a joy talking to her. And so that's the thing, is she will frequently say things that I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
wow.
Sure.
What? Okay. And so, yeah, I think she's harder to kind of predict. And so, yeah, I don't know if she's top 5.
Okay,
You know?
wow.
If you're saying people I'm closest with, absolutely.
No, sure.
But she's a little harder to predict, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing somebody, like, they're not going to Gone Girl you.
I don't think I know anyone that's going to do that, no.
Your dad might Gone Girl you someday.
Mark your father might. I
don't think I need this for the heat. It just tastes good.
That's the same, yeah. It's 2024.
Yes.
Do you still believe that Loveline is the greatest piece of
How did I know
entertainment?
this is going to come up? How did I know this is going to come up?
Is the greatest piece of entertainment in the history of any medium, which I believe as recently as like 5 years ago you still held to?
I said, to be fair, the greatest show of all time.
But we did dig on
It's
that.
beyond. It's incorporating TV shows.
Yeah, you said compared to any TV show, any radio show, any program. I think you said any form of medium. I think you included movies and music.
No, I said any show. Dan's memory is a real steel trap.
Okay, well, you said Loveline's better than The Simpsons then.
Yeah, I did.
I know you've become a bigger Corolla fan recently.
Yeah, I feel like post-divorce Corolla, he's really hitting his stride. He's got some great thoughts. I do listen to all those interviews with Tucker Carlson because I think it's fascinating to hear those two talking. It's compelling. It's just like...
I'm sure that's a word for it.
I can find some holes in some of their arguments. I'll go that far.
Wow. So yes? It's not a no.
Here's the thing that pushes me to want to say yes, that's still... And again, yeah, you know what? A radio show from the 90s has not aged well in 1,000 ways. It's
both hosts.
Yeah. In some spots, it's like, oh, they were really... I'm proud of that show. In the 90s, I feel like, with gay rights and stuff, like in mid-90s, like they were on it. And like, Dr. Drew started being on that show to like spread awareness about AIDS in the 80s and like volunteered his time and all that stuff. Hey, Sean Evans from Hot Ones, also a huge Loveline fan. Shout out. But what pushes me over the edge to be like, God, it means more is like they changed hundreds of thousands of lives and gave so much advice that just like the tendrils of hopefully like sex positivity, sex education, that spread across the country, like that's hard to quantify versus Simpsons is the funniest thing.
How much advice, how many human beings do you think exist currently that wouldn't exist if Loveline didn't exist? Like advice that one way or another led to someone dating someone or sticking with someone.
I would go the opposite route of like,
people that use safe sex or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Huh.
That maybe saved a lot of hardship for...
So Loveline has reduced the population of planet Earth? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know. Huh. Weird if it agrees with it. I don't know. So I think it's still gotta give it to something. What would you say is the greatest show? The Wire?
I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Yeah. Yeah, but then again,
Or Late Night with Letterman.
you can't just say first 9 seasons of The Simpsons.
Well, I do.
Yeah, but that's a coward's way out.
Okay, then I'll say all of Late Night with David Letterman. Late Night specifically.
Okay, sure. All right, I'm getting a big wing. You know what's coming up next?
What's that?
The bomb.
Oh, God, this is the one everyone complains about.
Yeah.
It's getting tough.
Yep. This is where it's gonna get to be no joke. And this one, I want the record to show. I'm really putting a lot of da bomb on here.
I'm not going to be doing that.
I want the record to show that Dan is not putting a lot of da bomb on here.
I'll put more than I want to.
Oh, that's too much.
You've done this one before, right?
No.
Oh, you have?
No, I took the last one.
Oh,
the
right,
last dab
right. Okay,
on
yeah,
the last episode, and I kind of dabbled different amounts and all that stuff. All right. How bad could the bomb be?
Okay. Let's see.
This is gonna be weird. I mean, after watching Hot Ones for so long, I've always wanted to try the mom. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay. Yep.
I can tell this is gonna hit.
I got more on my lips than I wanted to. That's already the hottest sauce, and it's only increasing.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
If you got a call one day from Game Informer's Matt Miller and said, Dan, I'm retiring. I want to offer you the spot, editor-in-chief of Game Informer. Would you take it? Would you leave Giant Bomb and take it?
Oh my god. I mean, I literally remember when I got hired at Game Informer, walking in and thinking, my goal in life is to become, I'm going to take over this place. I want to be editor-in-chief. And then I remember, like, as time went on, like, I heard, like, Andy had his, like, 40th birthday while I was there. And I was like, Andy's not that old. He's never going to leave. Like,
This has not stopped climbing.
no, it's really loud.
Holy God!
So yeah, I did feel like, I did feel that that goal was not attainable because I thought Andy was just too young and he would never leave. And so that's why I had to go elsewhere to kind of like, I had to do the Cody Rhodes. I had to leave and build myself up and to go higher. Oh my God. So right now,
Jesus Christo.
that's a tough question because I really like what I do right now. But Game Informer was the thing that led me into this line of work. But I'm also a realist.
You left before and you came back.
Yeah, but look, I'm not. I love Game Informer and I love to be able to work there. I don't have any faith in that parent company. I think it would be irresponsible to do so now. There would be a part of me that would love the idea of like, let's go back to the thing that made me want to do this when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
This place that was my launching
Here's the
pad.
question. What would you do though if you took it? Would you have a vision?
Remote podcasts. How about I play old bad video games?
Cool. That is ridiculous.
It is. It's a lot.
Holy Godzooks.
So the answer is probably no, unless it was a really stupid amount of money.
It
But
is.
I don't think. I do wonder. I do wonder what the
What
salary
do you
range
think?
was like back in the
What
day.
do you think it is?
GI Editor-in-Chief 2024? I'll guess right now.
I'm gonna take a guess. Hang on.
You're going to guess? Wait.
We say on the count of three.
Okay. Ready?
To be fair, I don't know.
I know what other outlets.
Okay,
Yeah, I
ready?
see. But we'll say this. Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
170,000. I said 170.
So 120. Who's right?
I mean,
170? Was he the president of the goddamn United States?
well, I mean, they're paying Minnesota. Like, the whole Game Informer pay scale has always been based on Minnesota, right?
Yeah. You think 170?
Yep.
That seems crazy high.
Yep. Really?
Really?
Do you know what EICs and other outlets make?
Yeah, they're like online and stuff. How much do they make? Tell me.
Game Informer has a website.
Tell me how much do they make?
An EIC?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say, this is, for the record, this is not Game Informer or any place I've ever worked, but I know EIC at a large place is, $250.
$250? There's a place, a name I know.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah. We don't need to, figure out exactly what it is, but...
Does it rhyme with Schmorigon?
What is that? Oh, okay.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah, I thought 170 for Minnesota, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy high.
Okay. I mean, it might be. It might be.
Do you have a question for me, Hotshot? Or
Yeah. Sorry, think about how hot this is. What do you admire the most about Mr. Beast?
Oh. Dan and I were Mr. Beast fans, and we don't care who knows it. Come at us.
You can't just no.
Come at us.
Just 50% of the time I hang out with Ben now. Whatever the plan was, he goes, before we do the plan, can we watch the Mr. Beast videos? And for the record, I've enjoyed watching them with you. It's very interesting to take apart.
But don't think I'm not sitting at home watching this. It's just I think it's fascinating, and we've gone on what, 2 marathons realistically.
Yeah, they've been interesting.
It was like we should catch up on this.
Do you have more admiration for Mr. Beast or Steve Jobs?
He's posters you have there. Did I tell you about we had a Steve Jobs poster that I brought in to ship out because we wrote all those fake quotes during the Gift of the Max stream on there. Fake quotes from Steve Jobs. They were all just like I lick my own butt and stuff. And I had it in the shipping place.
Blank is the new ass.
Call back. And I was hauling more boxes in, and I came in, and there's an old woman looking at the Steve Jobs poster. She must have been a big fan. And she walked up to it and squinted, and looked at all the quotes, which were just, blank is the new ass. And she looks at it, and she just goes, oh no.
Amazing.
But yeah, more respect probably for Steve Jobs, even though he's a real colossal asshole.
Hang on. I wiped my face with this, and it's this. Do I have chocolate all over my facial hair?
It was prank ice cream. No, I don't see it.
Okay, what the hell was that?
No, I appreciate people who are gunning for it in any direction. And every interview I've heard with Mr. Beast doesn't seem like a colossal asshole as far as I can tell. I'm sure he is, but I'm sure he gets paid more than editor-in-chief of Game Informer. But at the same time, I love it. He's just like, I've just become obsessed with YouTube, and I'm into like min-maxing it and like take all the money I get, put it back into the next video, and just keep rolling with that. And like,
there's a hustle that is
there's
very
the
admirable.
hustle and like analyzing YouTube in a way. It's like, it's probably, I'm sure it's unhealthy to be that obsessed with something, but it's like, I think it's cool that one person on Earth is just like, yeah, I'm gonna put everything I can into reading the numbers and trying to get the most out of YouTube, and doing so with videos that, look, I understand you can debate a lot of them, but by and large are positive aura videos. You know, like I think that's.
You can do a lot worse on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if I could go to Mr. Beast, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that pacing is wild. Everything's paced like an action trailer, and it just doesn't stop. I've never seen anything like it.
The thumbnail and title will be like, "Can I survive in this bathtub of snakes?" And then you start it, and it's just like, "I found a gold airplane." It's like, what? That's not what I clicked.
Yeah, but you know he's crunched all the numbers.
No, he's doing it. He's absolutely doing it. Like, I very much admire anyone that has that like insane hustle in what they do. You know, like some of them are absolute maniacs, but I can't help but be fascinated by that.
Yep, he can be hurt in the plot in a lot of different ways, with different choices. But look, I'm not trying to compare myself to Mr. Beast, but I love that type of like dorky analytics stuff. Like, if you're at the $10 tier on Patreon, you can vote for New Show Plus. But then also, we let people vote for the thumbnails that we use on YouTube and what gets in the headline. Like, what is the headline for videos? What gets in the headline for the podcast?
Interesting.
I love it so much. And I send a lot to Tim, our friend Tim, because I know he's also a numbers geek. I was like, look at this. Like, you would think this would be the headline or this would be the thumbnail, but people say no, that this is more clickable. And who knows, maybe it's biased by like the crowd that's at that $10 tier. You know, it's always a thing of like, you know, I was talking to Jacob Geller about it recently a little bit of like, you know, if we say, hey, what's the best headline? And one of the headlines is Leo Vader tells a funny joke. That they're going to choose that. So it's like it's more personality based for them, and I always try to factor that in. But it's really fascinating. Like, you know, last episode of the podcast, we talked about like, you know, 10 different games, 15 different games or whatever. And going into it, I was like, well, Star Wars Outlaws is like the biggest game with the new trailer this week. We can talk about that. Blah, 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 blah. Ubisoft, Star Wars, open world. And then we let people $10 tier vote like, hey, what are you most interested in hearing us talk about on the podcast this week? And Star Wars Outlaws was like middling to bottom compared to everything else. I was like, okay, like I guess that's not going in the headline then. That's crazy.
You're kind of doing your own like A/B testing with the audience there.
That's it, yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I go nuts. Like especially for Deepest Dive, I'll make like 12 different thumbnails. Like, what's the best? And it's just fascinating to see.
We had these analytics people when I worked at WWE. You know, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, so they would have these like high-end YouTube analytics people that like, you know, we would record a 40-minute podcast interview with Goldberg. And then he would have one mention about like, oh yeah, Roman Reigns has a pretty good spear. You know, I did the spear. Yeah. And then, you know, the YouTube person would be like, okay, well that has to be the clip. And you have to put Roman Reigns in the title and the thumbnail. It's like what Goldberg thinks about Roman Reigns' spear. Because like the numbers show that Roman Reigns, you say his name.
I get where they're coming from, but it's like, as long as you never want a headline that people will consume the content and be like, that's freaking liars. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think there's such a huge gap between that and not leaning at all into that and not doing the obvious way to get more people in the door, you know?
Yep.
And so, yeah, I respect it, but yeah, trying to find that line. This next one. This is Dawson's Hot Sauce, Zuzu's 7 Pot Sauce. Zuzu's Battles! Zuzu's Battles!
What's that?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
Oh, I've got Zuzu's Battles in my freaking pocket! I realize I'm becoming Jeff Goldblum, because when I interviewed Jeff Goldblum for the Jurassic World Evolution game, that was the thing. It's like when they were shuffling between different people interviewing him, all he did was like quote movies and be like, "What was that from? What was that from?" And I think to me, he said, I think he goes, "Yeah, my lips bleeding, Bert. My lips bleeding, Bert. You recognize that? You recognize that?" And It's a Wonderful Life. Ah, very good, very good. It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life. Frank Capra, 1943. I think it's 41.
Pretty good Goldblum.
I mean, anybody can do it if you just get that rhythm down.
Hey, how much of that game did you play?
I love Jurassic World Evolution.
Really?
I really love it.
It came out like a few years ago, right?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it recently, literally today, Dan, about like, God, Jurassic World Evolution 2. I played and I was like, this is good. I like it. I didn't dive into it the same way, but like, it's wild to think that there's a great Jurassic World park game that I haven't dove into because Evolution 1 was, I think it was in my top 3 for 2018.
Oh wow.
Yeah, top 5 maybe if I remember.
Interview him in person?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He said I looked like Chris O'Donnell.
I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, it is flattering. It is nice.
Sure.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. It's hot.
It's tasty. I like that one.
I like the flavor. How would you describe it? It's like, it is sweet too.
There's a sweetness to it. It rides the line between like, some of them are just hot for hot's sake and don't have a great flavor. Like the bomb was not great.
No. I'm still going to dab it in for a little bit more of the bomb though.
This is spicy and flavorful. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Based on your experience working at the WWE, what percentage of professional wrestlers that people idolize are human garbage?
Oh no. Well, present roster excluded.
Coward.
I worked with all that.
Just say a percentage. You're not naming names. That generally people idolize.
That people idolize? A lot more
including
than people...
current roster.
Man, I'd feel bad talking about current wrestlers.
You're not saying specifics. You're saying throughout all of WWE, a percentage.
Let's just say not WWE, also AEW, also the Indies, also, just like wrestlers in general.
You're stretching out a little bit. This is WWE.
I know people in all the companies. Historically, I'll say human garbage. What are we talking about? Human garbage? We're talking about illegal activity. Well,
no, just like that's just a shitty dude.
I'm gonna say less because you know what? There are some that like the internet is like, oh, that guy sucks or whatever, and then like you work with them and it's like, yeah, I don't agree with every opinion they've got, but like they're generally a good, hardworking person that like is pleasant to talk to, even if you don't agree on everything.
What's the number? It's gonna get written up in the trades because you say 43%.
Last time I talked to you about wrestling on MinnMax, I went into WWE to record a thing for that Greg Miller show, and one of the like high up dudes is like, "What are you doing here? Oh, you looking for some more material for another heat-seeking podcast?" Referring to your interview after I left WWE. Heat-seeking, Jesus Christ.
Well, they came to the right interview.
Because human garbage is such a strong phrasing, I'm gonna say it's only like
shitty people then.
Shitty people's also a strong thing.
Yeah, it is.
15.
Really? That seems low.
I mean, that's very different than like a lot of people you'd have different opinions than, but
sure
that I don't consider shitty people.
That's wow.
You know,
based on your thousands of stories you've told me, that's
well, a lot of the interesting ones are like holy shit, or
sure.
This person that everyone thinks is great is
skewing
shitty
the numbers.
Okay. If it was 1987, I'd say it's like 75%.
With Vince gone, would you ever be more open about, hey, this sucks? Get more specific with your stories.
No, because they're people. They're people that like I care so deeply about that industry, and I have so many friends in that industry that I don't ever want to feel that my friends in that industry, if they tell me something, as a friend or as a coworker, that I'm going to go talk about it publicly. Yeah. So
I think game industry has a little bit of that as well. Obviously, it's like, there's percentage of developers that are human garbage. 3%? I don't know.
What about media?
5?
Okay, yeah. I think that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know. I mean, how many people in the industry are like, that person sucks, and they're still in it, and they are genuinely human garbage? It's like, a
lot of them did get weeded out, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Like, a lot of, like...
I mean, not saying the industry is like, oh, clean. It's
no, not at all, but, like, there were definitely plenty of times throughout the years where people that, like, we knew were, like, not great.
Yeah.
Aren't really around, you know?
Right.
By the way, I realized it wasn't my face. It was when I wiped up the table. So rest easy, everyone.
Oh, you ready? Last one?
Oh, God, already? Man.
Yeah.
I could do this all night.
Everything after last dab is ice cream equivalent. But I'm sorry, after the bomb, I mean. But this is the last dab. You don't have to, Dan, but it's traditional around here. Put a little extra last dab on your wings there.
3 molecules of it on mine.
Come on, you got to go nuts for this one, dude.
I put a healthy amount on all these.
If you guys could see from my vantage point, you would disagree. All right, last dab. Oh, lordy, what to do when the romance is gone. Look at that.
What's that from, Jeff?
It's from. There's a period of time where it was my favorite YouTube video, and it's called Vader Sessions.
Oh.
Now it's just a quaint, weird old YouTube, but
Was that like E-Bombs World or something?
Probably, yeah. But it was just like they took a bunch of other James Earl Jones lines.
Yep.
And you put it over Darth Vader saying,
It
and
was
like,
very good.
Yeah, there's one that's just him in the hallway, like, what? Oh, like just like that. It's Vader confused in a hallway is the funniest thing.
I think that was E-Bombs World. I remember that.
It could be, yeah. How's
All right.
E-Bomb doing?
I don't know. Is that still a website?
I don't know. Thumbs up. Here we go.
Ben, how's that the last one? I'm on my 9th question. If YouTube existed when you were 10, what would you have been putting out there?
Oh, wow. 10.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I know exactly what it would have been. Reactions to Lost World trailers, Lost World toy reviews. Like 1997 I was 10, and that's Lost World nonstop soundtrack reviews, just reactions, everything.
Whew. Did I ever tell you that I was so obsessed with the pre-release hype of Lost World that I still have the yearbook? I should show it to you. It's in my house. In the back, most of the things people wrote in my things were like, I think one person literally wrote, "Shut the fuck up about the Lost World." People drew the dinosaur tracks.
Colon Jurassic Park.
I got a bunch of the boxes of the cereal of the Lost World to cut out the logo.
Yeah.
And I put it on my headboard in my bed and stuff.
Oh, man.
I saw it 4 times in a weekend.
I think it's a freaking fun movie. I'll still defend that movie. It gets so much crap. Which I guess I was watching latest season of Curb.
Yeah.
And
Not a bad season.
no, I haven't finished it quite yet, but I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's probably, middle of the road Curb season maybe. But I was thinking like, man, they could do a lot of goodwill because they're making a new Jurassic trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. It's rumored that it's like Dev Patel and Scarlet Johansson. But if they brought back Vince Vaughn's character from Lost World,
yeah.
I think people would pop for that. People are like, oh, Vince Vaughn, hell yeah! Like,
I forget, was he kind of like a
he's a
heel
photographer. No,
Or a sleazy
he's
guy?
helping out with the baby T-Rex and stuff. He's all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's all right. Whew. Last step. I think the other bottle I had tasted better. That one doesn't taste great. It's fine. Ooh, way better.
Let me follow up on that last one. What is a video that you made before working in the games industry that you would struggle to watch again now?
Oh, I made a short film in high school that was... Premise was... It was a killer premise. A scientist discovers a new planet, and the ownership of that planet is going to be determined by a poker game. Believe it or not, this was shot in 2004 when poker was a bit of a thing.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like all these wacky characters playing poker against each other. And it was Frodo from Lord of the Rings, Satan. I played Sub-Zero. Who else was at that table?
You did outfits and everything?
Yeah, I forget the other guys. Oh man, hang on. And
yeah, that one really gets you.
oh, Hitler. Pretty edgy comedy. And it was rough. It was like, I feel bad because it was just like obnoxious comedy. It wasn't very tasteful. But then also at the same time, I remember I played Sub-Zero, and a bit I got angry, and so I was like throwing ice cubes, like this. I had a bunch of ice cubes, I was chucking them. And I remember my friend Ben, who was playing Frodo, I was throwing it, and he was next to me, and I think we left it in during the take, where he kind of gave like a, all right there. Like, like you're being a little too obnoxious, even for Sub-Zero in 11th grade throwing Ice Cube. So that one probably be a pretty big cringer, I think.
Anything you made while you've been in the gaming industry that you'd have trouble going back to?
Yeah, I think all that stuff's kind of boring and slow and
But none of that,
just kind of dry.
This was a mistake.
The first episode of Yoshi's Island Super Replay. A mistake. I don't know. I was like, oh, I would have framed things 1,000 different ways from going all those cover stories and studio videos. Like, oh, I wish I would have talked about this. Or I wish I would have asked a follow-up question here. But nothing. I don't know. Nothing turns up as a good thing.
Follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
You just said cover story trip. Question from Jeff Cork. They gave me. How many times in your life do you think you said the phrase cover story trip?
Ooh, that's a great question. Great question, Jeff. Thanks for writing in.
I was thinking for myself, and I guessed 300.
Oh, it's got to be way over that for me.
Well, you went on like everyone.
For a long time.
Do people also tell you that it's a weird phrase to say and that no one says that?
I think it came up on the podcast, I think Janet and Sarah give us the appropriate level of shit for talking so much about Game Informer, so yeah, thousands. Take another bite of the hottest sauce. I got a question for you.
Oh my god, okay.
Please. I don't know if you'll find any more meat on that plate to put in the sauce.
I'm bad at eating. I gotta put more sauce on.
That's not the sauce?
No, that's a good sauce.
You just have a stockpile.
I re-upped on that. I wanted to eat more, but I didn't want that.
That's the barbacoa one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one rules. That's the best, right?
2 and 4 were my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that too, because that was a unique flavor for 2.
Yeah.
The ginger goat one.
Ooh, okay. I'm already kind of, wow. In between milk and ice cream, it is getting real hot.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have that in your mouth. I'm gonna go for another wing here. I'm just
Are you
gonna
doing last step too?
I already did it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna rub it on everything on this plate.
You've done 2 last stabs?
No.
You're making me do 2 last stabs?
Yeah. Because I didn't ask your question.
Okay, fair enough. Here we go.
If you all saw the amount on his wing.
That was a lot!
Dan,
Yeah.
can you guess your top 10 games from 2010? And I'm curious how much you'd want to rearrange it. What do you think is if you had to try and go from 1 to 10 for your top 10 games from 2010?
Red Dead Redemption?
Number 1.
Yep.
Correct. Hell of a game.
Super Mario Galaxy 2?
No.
Is that on there? Is that 2010?
It's on there. I'm shocked it's not number 2.
What the fuck else came out in 2010?
Another platformer.
I put a platformer above Mario?
You do.
Don't tell. Wouldn't have been a Little Big Planet.
Nope.
What the fuck? Hang on, don't tell me. This is... I'm trying to think if it's 3D, 2D. Oh, this is so hot.
You're going to kick yourself when you learn it. How could any game be a better platformer than Mario?
I said, Astrobots are up there, but that wasn't out then.
It's 2D.
It wasn't Rayman. There's no way I put that in number 2.
No, it wasn't out yet.
Is it Nintendo?
Yep.
Okay.
Still surprising.
Is it Mario?
No. Close.
Wouldn't have been a Yoshi game. What the fuck? What am I completely blanking on here?
There's a fairy. Top dog. King of the castle.
Bowser?
Not so much a castle, but a construction site.
Wario? Wrecking Crew? Fuck are you? Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Country Returns.
That's number 2.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I did love that game, yeah.
What, do you still stand better than Galaxy 2, you think?
No. It's close, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, what do you think?
Mortal Kombat 9?
No, that was 2009.
Okay. No.
Wasn't it?
No, Mortal Kombat and Portal were April
Oh, it's in 2011.
2011, yeah.
Sorry.
Holy shit, this is so hot.
Yeah.
Was Last of Us then?
This is a surprising number 4. It was a game that, I think people look back
Borderlands
on
2?
it now and they're like, that game was solid. We don't give it enough credit. It was solid. It wasn't just a flash in the pan. It was a big deal because it was like, this producer is working on this series. He's always been in the arena, and now he's actually producing this game, and the series is coming back for a 3D real console thing. Big budget, big voice actors. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oblivion? No. What?
I think Sir Patrick Stewart's on this.
I'm completely drawing a blank here.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
That was 4?
Number 4. Right.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You like Castlevania Lords of Shadow above God of War 3?
I wouldn't say that now.
Okay. Do you think it was the Kojima bump?
I remember playing through that and thinking, like, oh, this seemed like a gimmick. Like, oh, we're going to say he's attached to this project where he probably visited the studio and pointed at one thing and said, I like that or whatever.
Dracula's tooth. What else do you think?
I find it hard to...
With the years, yeah.
That's like late Wii.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of mid Wii. Oh my God.
2010, there's a big sequel. Next one's a big sequel on the list here. From a series that you
Uncharted 2?
No, that's 2009.
Okay.
But it's a series that now you'd be like, yeah, I was never really into it. But
Borderlands 2 was 09. Not Assassin's Creed.
Borderlands 2 was 2012.
I'm sorry, Borderlands 1 was 2009 because that was one of my first reviews. Assassin's Creed?
No.
Call of Duty?
Same, it was developed in the same country as Assassin's Creed.
What was it, France? Canada? Army of Two, Devil's Cartel.
You put that for number 5 through 10. No, Mass Effect 2.
Really?
Yep. And then Pinball Effects 2. Then Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Yeah, good game.
Number 9, I'd argue the greatest RTS campaign of all time.
StarCraft 2?
Wings of Liberty.
Wings of Liberty, yeah. Yep, that was good.
So freaking good. Number 10, a game that you later played with your father.
Inside? No, that was way later.
A game that has culturally slid and maybe is due for a rebrand.
Rebrand? Heavy Rain?
Yeah, Heavy Rain.
Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, man, above. There's some other games that came out that year.
Like what?
Super Meat Boy, not on your list. It's interesting.
It's fine.
Wow. Just Cause 2, Dead Rising 2, Mega Man 10.
I mean, these are all games I like.
Yeah,
but I kind of
Reach.
I mostly stand by this list. Halo Reach?
Yeah.
That didn't make my top 10?
Did not.
I like
It's
that game
no
a lot.
Pinball Effects too.
I wrote that cover story.
Oh wow.
But no, I didn't. I think Miller did, and I was the video guy. That was before you.
Yeah, right on. Well, there we go, Dan.
Oh.
You conquered it. The wings of death. You lived to tell the tale. Look at that camera. Let them know what you got going on in your life, man.
I work for GiantBomb.com. Check us out on YouTube, your podcast platforms of choice. Oh, yeah.
Giant to bomb.
We do video games, and we're going to start talking about wrestling more on there, too, if you like that.
No.
Yeah.
I listen to every episode of the Power Bombcast, but don't make me listen to more.
Get ready for more. And then the Fire Escape Cast. That was my side podcast I do with Mike Mahardy and Mary Kish, and it is like 1/3 about video games, and the rest just a bunch of just
Murder
jaw-jacking.
threats.
Yeah, that's mostly Mike, but yeah.
Great. Dan Ryckert, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And now it recontextualizes Hot Ones for me, because, you know, I was thinking it was like a lot of... What?
Dan put 2 drizzly drops on a chunk of chicken and then licked the skin. And now it's like, those celebrities are faking it.
No, I didn't think anybody was faking it. I just thought, like, in the realm of spicy challenges, I've had those one-chip challenges that, like, were killing kids. And those are on a different level, I think. That last dab, like, this is very, very hot, for sure. Yeah. And there were a few in between. But, like, I did feel that, like, it takes a bit for it to start getting... the hitch. I mean, like, the roof of my mouth is crazy right now.
Yeah, it's a lot. Keep in mind, with Hot Ones, they do coat the entire wing. They cook it in the sauce, you know. Whereas
before we went live, I just shook it all up, and then with all the sauces.
Remember, you can vote for more spiciest interview. Janet, she just had some dentistry work done, so that. Barring a complication with that, she should be up for next week, so you can vote for it by supporting MinnMax on Patreon. You can just throw us a sub if you enjoy this content on YouTube, but you can vote for more episodes of Spiciest Interview by going to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Jump into that backstage pass tier just even for a month, and we'll keep this going. We can just keep doing this all year, I suppose.
It's a good format, it turns out.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much, everybody. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Join Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb this Monday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. Central for MinnMax's Trivia Tower. It's good. If you support MinnMax on Patreon at even the $2 tier, you can jump in and compete in game trivia. We have codes to give away for Death of a Wish, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and a ton more. And in this episode, if you get one question correct, you win a game code. So you can help support independent games media and give yourself an exciting Monday evening, everybody's dream. April 22nd here, patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. The competition takes place in MinnMax's Discord. Let us know if you have any questions about how it all works. It'll be a fun time. See you there.